If you have been thinking about snakes, then this message is for you. Just like the snake sheds its skin and then uses a new skin for the rest of the life, it is a big transformation and rebirth symbol. A lot of you might be going through a rebirth. I am going through a rebirth right now. I have recently relocated, started new work, and I am trying to build a life which is much more starkly different than whatever I have lived till today. And it is in this place, maybe, that you are also in a place where you're trying to do things in a new way after a very, very long time. Okay, so change usually takes time sometimes, and there are many types of changes. There are changes which are small and they take time, and then there are changes which are big and drastic and radical and happens just like that. So for you, this time right now, also we are in the Scorpio season and we are in the 11th month, and we have just, we are also in the year 9, and now we're going to start year 1 next year. So it is a definite time for a lot of things ending, and when things end, only then can there be a rebirth, right? So this is a period where a lot of you might be feeling that urge of leaving something behind which has served its purpose, yeah. And sometimes what stops us from actually moving ahead is this thing of, trying to hold on to something which feels very secure and feels very safe and comfortable. And yet, for all of us, it is important that we eventually take and pivot and move towards something which is uncomfortable to start with, but which also holds potential for our growth and for us to experience a new side of ourselves. And what is life if not about experiencing new parts of ourselves? It is here that also reminds me of the idea of wholeness, because wholeness is an idea that I can talk about throughout the day, but let me talk about it once a day today at least, because it is 11:11 portal, and I think 11:11 is a great time for us to explore the idea of wholeness. Why so? Because 11:11 is usually something, a symbol, and it has happened for many people that many people start their spiritual journey and are almost always start seeing this number very first time before any other kind of numbers that they start seeing. 11:11 is something that they start seeing, and it really attracts their attention, and it is this number which tells them about something beyond what they can see through their eyes. But 11:11 tells them that there is something happening beyond what one can see. So it is here in a way that 11:11 is also representative of presence of a bigger force than us, or a presence of the universe, or presence of consciousness, or presence of God, or presence of something spiritual. Everybody has different interpretations of what it is for them. So depending upon how scientific your temper is, you might call it like consciousness, or you might call it like something beyond yourself. And then depending upon if you're very spiritual, you might just say that it is freaking God, right? But ultimately, whatever we might call it, it is something which is similar in experience for many people, and still it has a very unique quality for everyone. So I think there was a mosquito here. Mosquito is here which is telling me that take care of yourself, because mosquitoes, though they look very small, they can give bites and give you big illnesses, yeah. So don't underestimate the power of something small, which can sort of create a lot of ruckus in your life. I just said it because I felt like it should be said. This because animals actually have a very important symbolic significance in all of our lives. Okay, animals, I understand, is our animals are a representation of our own instincts, and in this very modern world, we have lost touch with our instincts, and it is because of that also that we have lost touch with what it means to be an animal, or how to relate to animals. And it is here that I think if one actually engages with symbolism of animals, one can arrive at very profound meanings of uh, what seeks to come out of them into action. So it is in this way that I would invite you to explore the symbolism of mosquito. And I recently walked in on a snake just two days back, and it's so weird that it is the last time I saw a snake that was also in Scorpio season, and now it is also again this is also Scorpio season, and I'm like, okay, snakes means Scorpios, and Scorpio means snakes. But yeah, definitely Scorpio is the season. It is also a fixed sign. It is also, I think, the fixed water sign, and it is somewhere a culmination of a lot of forces of emotional transformation, and it is here that's why the changes that happen in Scorpio season seem big and are deep and are quite drastic in that way. um, so, and I think they're also more long lasting changes, is what I feel. Every fixed sign actually represents a more longevity kind of a change. I think, which is what I was saying. I think sometime back that there are different kinds of changes, small changes and big changes, and fixed signs and fixed zodiacs are usually a representation of changes which are bigger in nature in some way, or more long lasting in nature. Yes, but there is no big change without the importance of small changes. So, in case your mind seeks to always create hierarchy between a big change and a small change, please do remember that these are just different types of changes. These are not changes which are better or worse, and it is actually a very egoistic orientation where we always want to compare something as big, small, up and down, and hierarchy in that sense is part of our egoistic understanding of the world, and which is completely natural because we do have an ego and we do have a structure which actually operationalizes hierarchy and which operationalizes up and down. But it can be very harmful for us health wise to actually get very carried away with this understanding and not be able to touch base with something which is much more vast beyond this particular aspect of reality. So yes, see everything, experience everything. I wouldn't say that become delusional and completely deny that there is something like that, because it does exist and it is very real part of all of our lives and structures, and it determines what we get access to and we don't get access to. But it is not the only part of reality. There is a stark opposite reality which also exists and which also requires your awareness. Yeah. So I think opposites coming together is a very important thing that we need to be aware of, be open to, and build from there. I wanted to do one message of 1111, which is not about what is coming up in 1111, but I just wanted to do message of what is 1111. Yes, so I don't know. I just feel like what is 1111 all about? What is 1111 all about? What is 1111 all about? What is 1111? What exactly is 1111 all about? So I'm gonna do a very conceptual message about what is 1111. Many people say a lot of things, so let us see one more possibility. What is 1111? Okay, all right, I want to draw one more card, and I think these are more better cards than what I have drawn. So I think 1111 is, again, see, I was saying no, there is something beyond what you can see. So I think it is also 1111 is somewhere a representation of the shadow or the unconscious or the unseen that we do not usually sense in our lives when we are in the reality alive. So if you will look at this picture, these two people are bound by something, and they are being kind of they are in the trap of this figure, or they are in the influence of this figure, but they can't really be rid of it. So I think 1111 is a representation of the unconscious, the presence of unconscious. And sometimes I think what we call as unconscious is exactly what we call God or anything else. Yes. So I think 1111 is about the presence of uh, the unconscious, collective unconscious, our shadows, and the spiritual reality, which is very deeply bound with us. And going literally also, it is also a representation of devil. I don't know, like devil is something that we have called as devil because devil is something we cannot tolerate, or devil is something that we feel has no place or has only less place in our life. But devil is actually what it is, something that is the most difficult to face and tolerate and accept. And I think that is exactly what shadow is. So I think 1111 has a lot of significance about our shadow. And then 1111 is a lot about 1111 is a lot about this person is trying to collect these wands and going away. So I think 1111 is a lot about, I think it is 1111 is a lot about completion, because 10 is also a representation of some cycles. And I think 1111 I think is something also. So 1111, why is it a manifestation? Because manifestation is what one desires, and that's why when it is 1111 we call it manifestation, because something big that was once seemingly unachievable for us gets achieved. So 1111 is actually a hope that that what you feel is unachievable is actually achievable some given day, and you would be in a place where even though this task seems like impossible, you would be able to actually gather so many wands and be able to take them somewhere. So it is actually 1111 is a, it is an indication, it is a symbol of representing possibilities and potentials and manifestation of possibilities and potentials. And this is why we say that dream on, my friend, and dream as big as you want, because if you can't dream big, then you don't even have a possibility that something massive can happen for you. Yes. 1111 is the tower. 1111 usually is also the time when, um, I think 1111, any kind of whatever we say is a spiritual awakening, and 1111 is usually a time of spiritual awakening. So this is a lightning striking in a tower and two people falling out of it. So I think it is a lot about 1111, and these are two people, and these are, if 11 represents one person each, then 1111 in this way is a representation of a kind of a separation from the illusion of some kind. Okay, so 1111 usually represents that you, whatever is false shatters. Okay, 1111 usually tells you that it is a gateway through which when you enter, you will enter a higher truth. Okay, so illusions will become lesser, and whoever is in the tower of illusions will eventually fall. And 1111 can represent something like some big incidents which usually allow people to come out of illusions. Okay, because illusions are very very big, and usually it takes big incidents for a person to actually be able to face those illusions and come out of them. And these are the things which usually changes one's ideas about oneself. So I think 1111 is a lot about moving one step closer to lesser illusion in life and more reality. 1111, I think, See, 11:11, when people see 11:11, people start dancing, and I have never seen the point of why are people doing that, because whenever I have seen 11:11, I have only moved into something more. I have always almost called in something which will make me very sad at least once. So 11:11 comes sometimes makes people very happy, but 11:11 actually I think is a place where you actually come out of false expectations, and when you come out of false expectations or falsehood, your heart breaks. And I think which is why 11:11 is a symbol of truth, because it is a gateway towards more truth, less illusion, more transformation. And definitely all this can only be reached by seeing your shadow, meeting your shadow. This is the only way to cross the 11:11 portal. So I hope that in this 11:11 portal, all of you are moving towards falling from the towers of illusion, uh, building potential and possibilities which, even if they seem impossible, and becoming aware of the shadow or the unconscious, which all so many of us ignore the presence of. And also, of course, false expectations which eventually lead us to a lot of heartbreak. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope this reading was fun for you. Do leave a comment as to how you felt about it. My voice has gone for this video. Bye bye.